The 19 of Tom Kaczynski. 20 laps, green flag is out. Mike McGee's gonna go ahead and take the middle lane and he'll go down to the bottom. 3 wide for second. As he'll get Rex out of theirs, it's gonna be Ramsey and Johnson. Mike McGee running up front, he'll lead lap number 1. Contact back through the field between the 05 and the 27 of Steve Rex. Zach Johnson now working to the inside of CJ Ramsey as he'll try and get by for second. Up front, Mike McGee starting to pull away. Zach Johnson searching all over this 1/3 mile racetrack. He looked high the last lap. This time he's going to look low. Mike McGee will fall back in line behind CJ Ramsey. Now Wyatt Scott's looking to the inside of the 05 of Greg Johnson. Wyatt Scott trying to make a move for 4th. They'll go side by side down the backstretch. Scott to the inside, Johnson to the outside. It will be Johnson at the line. And now the 05 jumps the 14. The 105 of Zach Johnson used up the 14 and spun him right out. Green flag is out. Wyatt Scott's going to look to the inside. Going to try and get to the 11 of Mike McGee. They're going to go side by side down the backstretch. Scott and McGee. And now Johnson's going to look to the outside. Trouble in 3 and 4. They're going to stack him up in front of everybody. Major damage. As it looks like the 29 of Kyle Schreckengost and the 27 of Steve Rex, hard contact. Tony Van Pelt, Mike McGee will be the lead car in 3 and 4. Green is out, he's on the gas. Wyatt Scott's gonna dive to the bottom, try and make his move on Johnson. Johnson's gonna get the run out of the backstretch, and now Scott's gonna have to fall back in line. Again, there's a bobble by Johnson. That's going to allow Wyatt Scott to get there. Not able to complete the pass. It's still going to be Johnson, even with the bobble. Johnson, again, going to try and see how high he can get. That time he got too high. Wyatt Scott to second. Wyatt Scott now going to see if he can run down the 11 of Mike McGee. Johnson looking to the back bumper of Wyatt Scott, seeing if he can make that pass back on the bottom again. As you see, Johnson still trying to work that high side. And coming around here, it's still going to be Mike McGee. And now Johnson to the outside, going to almost get into the fence there, has to back it down. As there was not much room there between the wall and Johnson, if any. And the halfway sticks are up. Mike McGee comfortably out front. Johnson still running the high line. Wyatt Scott now going to test out the high side. He's going to see if there's anything up there, see if he can somehow run down the 11M of Mike McGee. While he does that, Johnson's going to look to the inside of Scott. Nothing there, he'll fall back in line. Again, Wyatt Scott looking to the outside. Can't get no traction here off this. Mike McGee still up front. Wyatt Scott slowly starting to wheel him in, as you can tell by the eye. 3/10 of a second faster last time. Not sure he's going to have enough time at that rate. Again, as these cars have now fanned out throughout Freedom Motorsports Park, Mike McGee running the middle lane, Wyatt Scott to the high side, and Johnson's running the bottom side. Now this time we see McGee run the bottom side. And Wyatt Scott with 5 laps to go. The eye test tells me he's getting closer. Can he do anything with McGee? Wyatt Scott on the outside. Chasing down the 11 of Mike McGee, 4 laps to go. He's going to get there in about 2 laps. There's a car over there in turns 3 and 4 down the backstretch. That's going to be Dalton Bradley. And now that's going to allow Wyatt Scott to get right to the back bumper of Mike McGee as they're going to have lap traffic in their way. 3 laps to go. How are they going to deal with this lap traffic? Scott to the high side. They're going to split Bradley. Now Scott's going to go to the outside. They're going to go side by side in turn 3 and 4. Scott's going to get a little loose, and that's going to put him out of position. McGee to the lead with 2 to go. McGee still in the lead. Wyatt Scott trying anything he can do on that high side. Power move to the outside. Wyatt Scott. Scott to the outside in 1 and 2. Comes down the backstretch, and he is on a rail. Wyatt Scott to the lead. Wyatt Scott up top. Mike McGee down low. They're going to go down the backstretch to his left quarter panel. Nothing there. Mike McGee's got one last chance to throw it in. Wyatt Scott, Mike McGee. They're side by side to the line. Give it to Scott. Wyatt Scott and Mike McGee put on the race of the night. Wow. And we will get a word with Wyatt Scott. And he's on the car. Let him hear you, Wyatt Scott. So they're going to he's off now. They can hear you. Let him hear you, Wyatt Scott. Wyatt, what an absolute incredible run. You started wheeling him down. You were only 0.3 of a second faster a couple times, and we said he might have a shot to get there, and then the lap car gets there. Talk about that run and make that power move on the outside.
Yeah, I don't know. 10 laps to go. Dad told me I was going down the back straightaway, and Dad told me to move up, and I moved up, and I was like, oh, it's twice as good, and I maintained for a lap, and then I knew I just needed to get on it, and I don't know. Then I realized I was catching him. Then the lap car thing worked out. And then I just had to rip it and not make a mistake the last couple laps.
So you pick up the win here tonight. That puts you in the redraw for the Woe Nelly race back here. You pick up a cool $1,500 here tonight. What does that mean to you to be able to start off the season here at Freedom? You got 2 races. What's it mean to be competitive right off the bat?
It's super big deal. I'm a massive fan of this racetrack. I've been very fortunate here. So I definitely have my eyes set on the other race. That's first win in a car with a clip. That's probably still less than 10 races. We built it ourselves. Yeah, we're in a pretty good spot. I think the redraw thing's really cool. It was a fun one, too.
Who do you want to thank on this whole deal to get you here in Victory Lane?
My parents, my girlfriend, Kate. There's a ton of sponsors on the race car. Close Racing Supply, Martin Dynamics, Rod Johnson Construction, Little Andrew came here and helped. Spray Foam Options, 955 Automotive. Affliction Race Cars, we build it ourselves. I'm sure I'm forgetting somebody. It's a pretty bad little piece, so if you want one, order one.
Awesome job. Congratulations. Your feature winner. Let him hear you one more time, Wyatt Scott.